The mechanics of freedom bodywork is really based on wave properties and wave-like motions, although Dr. Traeger hadn't seen it this way. I read a book last year about a Tai Chi practitioner who used to be a structural engineer, and when he became a massage therapist, he started to apply those principles to his work. And he was really ingenious what he came up with. Because he was a structural engineer and he had that scientific background, he saw the actual physics of when you send a wave through a cable. It'll automatically it'll travel the length of the cable, and if it meets resistance, it will eventually lengthen it out gently. So it's like water on a rock, like the philosophy of Taoism. Water is very gentle, and it eventually overcomes all resistance. This is really going from the philosophy to the actual mechanics of freedom bodywork and Traeger's approach. So it's easier to show rather than describe. So let's say this side of my neck is tight. I want to send a wave that'll travel through my body and hit those muscles until eventually the wave will relax the muscles and then start to travel through those neck muscles all the way around the body. So you can do this yourself. This is actually how Traeger calls them mentastics, or mental gymnastics, a way of training the unconscious mind and develop and releasing holding patterns. And he does this for the forearms, since in freedom bodywork we work on the entire body except the forearms aren't really focused on as much because you can do them yourself. But you take the weight of your hands and you don't do it like it's an exercise. You're not pulling and letting go. It's not controlled. You're feeling the weight of your hand, and you're lifting it up, and then you let it go. Now, if you watch closely, you see how my entire body is affected by the wave that is created. Now, this is exaggerated just because of the camera height. Normally, you would take it to half this height and just let it go, and you get the same effect. As I was talking about in the philosophy, it's really about working lighter and more gently. You don't try to make bigger waves or more forceful ones. You really try to make it more subtle and see if it can affect and how it travels through the body. Because the body is really made out of water. It's not this solid, block thing that we think it is. It's really water, which is why these wave properties affect the body so well and help release those holding patterns and get the muscles relaxed. It's just, you can tell, do the wave. It's really about applying that principle to the entire body because it's all interconnected. And it's really fascinating to look at the fascia of the body and the muscular system and how, your tight calf could be what's causing your headaches, which is why, I want to emphasize freedom bodywork as a total body relaxation response instead of just working on someone's neck for their headache and never really getting to the root of the problem. So these wave mechanics are, they show you if you can get a bit of a more clear understanding of what the work does. Because when I first received this work, I was skeptical at first as well. I was sitting there and there were these waves going through my body, and I didn't feel anything really differently. I didn't know if this was doing anything. I was in that mindset that things had to be done rather than let go. Like I said it with the philosophy earlier, it's just about letting go. And so I was there, and I didn't really understand what the experience was going to be like at all. But when I got up, everything had shifted so much. Just my entire proprioception of how I was in my body and how it could feel had completely shifted. And it was actually so much on a physical level that I actually had an emotional release as well. It was that powerful. And the mechanics behind that, there's just not enough time in this video. I just really wanted to get deeper into the waves and how human beings are like water, and that's why freedom bodywork is so effective on them. Even though it's not an intense experience, it doesn't have to be painful. And if people want that sort of approach, that it's available to you, and it is effective. Their philosophies and structures are based on actual results. But freedom bodywork and its mechanics, it's really for people who just If you ever think, isn't there an easier way? Can't this be a pleasant experience that's also deep and effective? Because it's targeting such a deep unconscious level of the mind. It's really got no end to it as well, is what I'm trying to say. Traeger would often say when doing this mentastics, what's half of that? Okay, what's half of that motion? And you can go on forever. What's half of that? What's even lighter? And it would get to the point where people could feel themselves moving when Traeger would work on them, but they couldn't actually tell where his hands were, or they couldn't even feel his hands. The only experience was their own body, their own movement, and it was so subtle, it was so light, it was so deep that they couldn't even tell where his hands were. And it's just mind blowing when you get to that level of practice, the experience that it creates. And with the nervous system, it gets really deep. Milton actually worked on people with neurological disorders, Parkinson's, people who were paralyzed, and he got them able to walk again, just through sending these signals through proprioception up to the mind, which is really the neurology side of it, which I said I was going to get into, but just to get you a preview of how deep this work really is. And I encourage you to give it a try for that reason. Whatever paradigm you think you know about massage, or how things are supposed to work, or how your own body works, I guarantee you there's more to it. There's more depth. Even for myself, I understand that, what my own philosophy is right now, even that there's still more to it. There's still a deeper level that you can work on, more subtle, more anything, deeper relaxation that can be reached. So really just give it a try. It's an experience, and it might change your life. It'll change how you feel in your body, definitely, and really just revolutionize that. So thank you for watching. My name is Arthur Freeman.